We have always heard of the same 7 wonders of the world as soon as we came to census. But nothing lasts forever, and the new always pushes its way in and kicks out the old. The same was done with these wonders, as there are now 7 new modern wonders that were declared in the year 2007. More than 100 million people voted to declare the new 7 wonders of the world. Here are 7 new wonders of the world. Number 7. The Great Wall of China. Great might be an understatement when it comes to our first new wonder that may not be new to most of us. One of the world's largest building construction projects, the Great Wall of China, is widely thought to be about 5,500 miles or 8,850 kilometers long. However, a disputed Chinese study claims the length is 13,170 miles or 21,200 kilometers. Work began in the 7th century BCE and continued for 2 millennia. Although called a wall, the structure actually featured 2 parallel walls for lengthy stretches. In addition to this, the design of the wall, which is constructed across mountain passes and ridges, makes strategic use of the natural terrain. Other features include watchtowers and barracks that dot the bulwark. One not-so-great thing about the wall, however, was its embarrassing effectiveness. Although it was built to prevent invasion and raids, the wall largely failed to provide an actual security. Instead, scholars have noted that it served as more as political propaganda. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that notification bell for 5 years of amazing luck. Number 6. Chichén Itzá. Chichén Itzá was an ancient Maya city that eventually became part of the Maya Toltec civilization. It flourished around AD 1200 and later joined a political alliance with the cities of Mayapan and Uxmal. The powerful city, a trading center for cloth, slaves, honey, and salt, flourished from approximately 800 to 1200 and acted as a political and economic hub of the Mayan civilization. Here, the most familiar ruin, the site of El Caracol, a sophisticated astronomical observatory. It had already been abandoned by the time the Spanish arrived in the 16th century. Archaeological excavations began in the early 19th century. The ruins feature religious temples that epitomize Maya innovation in astronomy and science. The Temple of Cuculcán has 365 steps, one for each day in the Hobbes solar calendar. The temple is crowned by a carving of Cuculcán, also known as Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent deity. Number 5. The City of Petra. The city of Petra was built by Nabateans who lived in the Wadi Musa Valley for more than 400 years. In a spot strategically located early silk and spice trade routes. It was purported to be one of the places where Moses stuck a rock and water gushed forth. The city fell onto the Roman Empire in AD 106. The Hellenistic facades are carved directly into the canyons and use the natural terrain as guides. Noted carvers, the Nabateans chiseled dwellings, temples, and tombs into the sandstone, which changed color with the shifting sun. In addition, they constructed a water system that allowed for lush gardens and farming. At its height, Petra reportedly had a population of 30,000. Today, the monuments are vulnerable to flash flooding in the Wadi Musa and continuing erosion from wind and rain. Number 4. Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is a pre-Columbian Incan settlement, one of the few that remain intact. Situated on the eastern slope of the Andes Mountains, it was probably built as a royal retreat for the Incan emperor Pachacuti Inca Yupanqui, not intended to be visited by the masses. In use from the mid-15th century to the mid-16th century, it was eventually abandoned. However, the reason is not clear. Though the Incan Empire was conquered by the Spanish in 1532, the conquerors did not find the site. It was eventually discovered in 1911. The architecture was intrigued into the natural terrain, its walls and terraces cut into the rock. Today it is reached either by hiking up the Incan Trail through the Andes or by train or helicopter. Most visitors by train from nearby Cusco. In order to better preserve the structures, the Peruvian government has started to limit the amount of time tourists can spend at the site. Number 3. Christ the Redeemer. The Christ the Redeemer statue in Brazil, the most recently constructed of the new 7 wonders, stands 125 feet tall. At the time, the statue was commissioned by the Catholic Church in the early 20th century. Over 90% of Brazilians were Catholic. Images of the Christ statue are reproduced throughout Brazil. In order for the statue, which weighs 1,145 tons, to support its massive arm span, it was made with reinforced concrete. It is considered the largest Art Deco sculpture in the world. Its location, which is on top of a 710-meter-tall mountain, has left it vulnerable to weather and damage from lightning. Discordantly, the statue has in fact often been struck by lightning, and in 2014, the tip of Jesus' right thumb was damaged during a storm. One of the greatest restoration challenges represented by the statue is matching the color of its impressive 6 million stone tiles, but efforts to keep it preserved are never-ending. Number 2. The Colosseum. The Colosseum, an amphitheater with arcades and half columns, is an example of the Roman Empire's architectural innovation. It was used for gladiator and hunting shows, as well as public executions. For 4 centuries, it has a dark hidden history within its glory, what we so excitingly capture with our cameras. According to some estimates, about 500,000 people died in the Colosseum. Additionally, so many animals were captured and then killed there that certain species reportedly became extinct. After the fall of the Roman Empire, it was used temporarily as a housing complex. The earthquake damage and the mining of the Colosseum's materials have left just 1/3 of the original structure in place. Restoration efforts have been stepped up since the early 19th century. In 2016, a 3-year restoration of the building's facade was completed. Number 1. The Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is one of the crowning architectural achievements of the Mughal Empire, which ruled most of the Indian subcontinent from 1526 to 1761. It was built by Emperor Shah Jahan, who reigned from 1628 to 1658, to honor his wife Mumtaz Mahal, chosen one of the palace, who died in 1631, giving birth to their 14th child. It took around 20,000 workers and 16 years to build. The building reflects the Mughal architectural style, stressing symmetry and balance. The Taj Mahal also encompasses formal gardens of raised pathways, sunken flower beds, and linear reflecting pool. The mausoleum is made of white marble that features semi-precious stones in geometric and floral patterns. Its majestic central dome is surrounded by 4 smaller domes. According to some reports, Shah Jahan wished to have his own mausoleum made out of black marble. However, he was deposed by one of his sons before any work began. In recent years, restoration efforts have been focused on protecting the ivory marble facades from pollution. Were you overwhelmed by the impressive qualities of the new 7 Wonders? We sure were. Check out our next video for some more impressive facts.